Tackle Box. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're seeing in this week's episode. Now we're down the East Cape, we're chasing billfish, and you never know if it's going to be a striper, a sailfish, or a big blue. So we're using big lures like this to attract the billfish and to get them to come up behind the boat. But once we get them there, lots of times they won't hit the lures. If they don't, we want to be prepared to drop back a live bait or a dead ballyhoo like they offer now on the East Cape. Now an outfit that's really good to use for that is something like this for the smaller striped marlin and the sailfish. You can get away with this. This is a fluger contender combo. It's a great rod. The reel, I have Cajun red line, 25-pound test. You can even use 30-pound if you want, but for the smaller sailfish, the 25 works great. Now I have a fluger reel on here, a contender reel, and this is a nice outfit that I would use in Southern California for yellowtail fishing, white sea bass, but down the East Cape for sailfish, it's a great outfit to use. Now, if we get into the bigger fish, maybe the smaller blue marlin or the big stripers, and you drop back a big mackerel to it, you need something a little bit heavier. And this is the ugly stick rod, a tiger rod. It's a great rod to use. This rod's rated to use up to 60-pound test line. I like these brand new contender reels filled with 40, 50-pound Cajun line and using the red line again. Now, another important factor when you're fishing for billfish, dropping back a bait, is you can't tie it straight to the mono. The mono's great, but these billfish, their bills are really strong, really sharp, lots of ways to cut your line, so you have to use a heavy leader. And I'd really recommend you use nothing lighter than 100-pound test Cajun line. And for the stripers and the blues, I would recommend you use 130, 150-pound leader. Works really good. The billfish are so sharp, those bills, they have so many ways to break your line. You really need a good strong leader to use with it. And the Cajun red line works great. Now when you rig that up, what I like to do, and this is what the line looks like, I like to tie a perfection loop knot. That's what this is here. So when my live bait hits the water, it can move more freely. And this may look kind of heavy to you, but remember, you're dropping that bait back at 6 to 8 knots. It's moving fast right behind the trolling lures, and the fish won't see it. It works really good, and the fish will bite it. This is a big hook that we're using. This is the Eagle Claw hook. This is a 113 mag hook. They work really good. The large hooks, we use them for tuna fishing. We also use them for billfish, and that's what we're using today. So this is the hook, this is the rig. And remember, when you're fishing for billfish, you can get them on the trolling lures. It's not that hard to do, but it's always good to be prepared to have a live bait rig, so you have a bait that you can drop back to the fish. If you hook a fish with a live bait or drop back bait, you're way more likely to land the fish. On a trolling lure, lots of times the fish will strike it, they'll jump, they'll spit the lure, and you won't be able to land it. But when you hook them using a live bait hook like this, and you drop them a bait, they bite a little bit better. You set the hook on them, you have about 80 to 90% chance of landing that fish, a much better chance than you do with just using a trolling lure. So that's what we're doing here today. Just remember, when you go to the East Cape or anywhere in the world where you're fishing for billfish, make sure you're prepared to have a drop out rig ready to go when you're out there trolling. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action here on Sport Fishing.